Today's Pokemon video is going to be all about birds, cause it's flying type. I chose to only go with birds for this project and no other flying type Pokemon cause the setting of this sculpture will be in a cute little bird sanctuary playground thingy. I'm sorry to all the other flying type Pokemon I couldn't consider. I hope you still all like the concept. Let's get to the sketch. Since this will be a bird sanctuary type environment, I have to add tree-like structures. My cousin has two budgies that have lots of cute colorful toys in their cage, so that's where I got the idea to add a little ladder here and a bell. Something to keep these birds entertained. Doduo is taking a half nap, which is impressive considering Chatot is loudly singing. Hoot Hoot is also not amused by Chatot's singing. Over on this side, I have Swablu trying to ring the bell, while P-Dove is watching. Starly is climbing the little ladder to try and ring the bell too. I colored the toys to kinda match Chatot. Hopefully it gives the environment more pops of color, since most of it is brown and yellow. And here's our sketch. Time to move on.
Sculpting!
Trees are up first. I'm going to go ahead and clay up my two trees and smooth them all out. Then clay up the long log too. Once they were all smooth, I went in with my tool and drew in the grooves all along the entire body. I didn't really think much about where I was placing them. I just drew them randomly wherever I felt like it would look nice. I think they ended up looking very good though. They're all done.
Next.
For Doduo, I clayed up all the individual balls of foil, the body and the two heads. I don't bother covering the wire in clay, cause I'm just going to paint them as is. Everything is smoothed out, and then I get to add on the fuzz. I had no idea how I was going to make Doduo's body fuzzy, cause having them all be smooth didn't look right. I went with sticking on little individual tufts. The beaks are next. They have really long ones. I sculpt their 2 feet and stick those on. Doduo is done.
Next.
Hoot Hoot is a round ball that I cover in clay. I flattened these little disc shapes for the eyes. I was considering just painting the eyes on, but I felt like having them look a little more 3D would be cooler. Kinda like she has on goggles. I'm cutting up the eyelashes here. 3 bottom lashes for each eye. This is for the 2 little horns that stick out of her head. I know they're supposed to be clock hands, but what would they be considered for owls? Their eyebrows? Clock hand eyebrows. I pop on the wings. And done.
Next.
Starly gets covered in clay. Then I make this little swoop of hair on her head. I cut small triangles out of this strip of clay so I could wrap it around Starly's collar. I then smooth it in. The wings are next. I pinch the ends and smooth those onto her body. The tail is made of 3 feathers that I stick together. Adding on the feet, they kinda look like beans. And she's done.
Next.
Now we clay up P-Dove. I shape the body kinda like a rubber ducky. And smooth in the tail. She has a tuft of hair that I try to make. I blend that onto her head as best as I can. The two little balls are for her nose, and then I add on the beak. Time to glue on the wings. Then make these little feet. Pito's thankfully easy to make.
Next.
This will be Chatot. I clay him up and make a little collar for him too. The difference is his is round. They're more like frills. One wing has 2 feathers sticking out, which I'm making here. And the other wing is sticking out with many more feathers. This is the musical note headpiece. Then we move on to the feet. For the tail, I used a piece of wire and skewered a ball onto it. Then I stick it onto his butt, and done.
Next.
The last bird to sculpt is Swablu. Her body is just a round gumdrop shape. For the wings, I have 2 big lumps of clay that I stick more clay onto. They're supposed to be cloud-like. So once I pop on enough bits of clay, I smooth everything out. It was a long process, but they turned out really good. I glue 1 cloud wing onto the body, sculpted on the head feathers, then glued the other one on. The feet are next, and the beak. Swablu is done.
Next.
I'm cutting up a flat piece of clay to make the latter pieces. Then the last thing I did was add details into the wood panels. Now I can put it all together. Here's the ladder. Onto the bell. I make a dewdrop shape of clay and smooth on a disc to flare out the bottom more. I take the back of my X-Acto blade and press it into the bottom of the bell. And popped a tiny ball into the center. Obviously that's not how bells work, but I just needed it to resemble a bell. I bent a piece of wire into a loop and shoved it into the top of the bell. All the pieces are finished. They're ready to go into the oven and then get prepped for painting.
Paint time.
I painted the trees and log the same brown color. And then painted the parts where the ends cut off a beige. Those are all done.
Next.
Doduo is painted a tan brown, beige, and a dark brown. I painted their entire body brown first. Then I paint in the beaks and feet with beige. The necks are dark brown. Whenever I use wire, I also prime them with gesso so the paint goes on better. I paint in their eyes. It's nice that all these birds have beaks, so I don't have to paint mouths. And done.
Next.
Hoot Hoot is also brown. I painted the belly a light beige. Then go in with a soft pink for the feet and beak. I carefully paint the eyes and clock hands black. The eyelashes were very finicky to get the paint around, but I did it. I then paint the center red. Lots of layers of red so it shows up. I lastly paint in the annoyed looking eyes. It brings it all together.
Next.
Starly is painted a very dark brown, a brownish gray, white, and orange. The head and tips of the wings are dark brown, and the body is gray. I carefully paint zigzags into the wings between the two colors. As for the tail, the two feathers on the outside are dark brown, and the center feather is white. I also paint in the face white. Starly is done. I lied. I messed up. I recorded and edited the entire video just to realize last minute that I forgot to paint the tip of Starly's beak black. I did it in the end, but for the rest of the video, keep in mind that I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Next.
P-Dove is painted mostly gray, black, and pink. Her whole body is gray, and I painted a cute heart shape on her belly with a light gray. The pink is next. I painted the patterns on her wings, tail, and back with black. Finished!
Next.
Chatot was a lot of colors. The head and tail were black. The body was green. I painted the collar white. The wings blue. And yellow was for the feet and all the patterns on the belly and wings. The beak I painted a dark pink along with the eyes. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that a bird is so colorful. They're like the most colorful animals out there. Here he is.
Next.
Swablu is just blue and white. After painting Chatot, this was such a relief. The body was blue, and the wings, beak, and feet are white. She's done.
Next.
The ladder is painted brown. And the smaller wood pieces are red, green, and blue. The bell I painted red. With the wire loop being yellow. Here are the toys.
Next.
For the base, I painted the entire thing a golden yellow. I go in with my brush to pat on a darker yellow to shade. And blend everything in. Once I like how it looks, I can add little details. I use a cream color to scatter little tufts around. The base is done. Time to assemble the play area for our birdies. I didn't have a blue piece of string to tie up the bell, so I ended up painting it blue. I used that to loop into the bell and tie it into a knot. Then I place it on the log.
Success! Whoopee!
Doduo isn't as fluffy as I want them to be. I'm not sure if there was any other method I could have used. It's alright though. Chatot looks super funny, which I'm really happy I captured. I might have made Hoothoot's eyes too big, but it's not too bad. I love the environment I made for them. It matches the sketch really well. Overall, I don't know how I feel about this piece. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. It's cute, so I'm proud. It's time to thank my beloved channel members. Thank you Doodlemoose, Ghosty Faye, Sunny Madoka, Rowan Seltzman, Asen, and Diamond Doodling. I really truly appreciate your support in helping me keep the channel running. Channel members get exclusive behind the scene videos, early sneak peeks into my projects, and more. Thanks for watching! Leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe if you want to see more projects from me. Now that flying type is complete, I just have 5 more to go. Dark, Steel, Dragon, Rock, and Poison. A lot of cool ones, so I'm excited. I hope to see you again for those videos or whatever I decide to make next. Stay tuned!
Bye-bye!